The U.S. Congress has a new proposal to save Social Security, the same thing they've been promising to do since I was in short pants, and this time it is, surprise, surprise, going to hurt all of you who are high earners. I'm going to tell you how. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. This is Nomad Capitalist. We're the channel and the company that helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors, also known around Congress these days as the evil rich, legally go where you're treated best. And if this, what's proposed in Congress right now, is to go through, and you are living in the United States, you are going to definitely need to go where you're treated best. Here's the article from CNBC.com. They've buried the lead, so I'm gonna do the build-up, and then I'm gonna get to the punch in the gut at the very end. Congress has a new plan to fix Social Security. Here's what would change benefits. This is by Lori Connish. And it says, a House Democratic proposal to reform Social Security is being introduced in Congress. The new version of the bill, called Social Security 2100, a sacred trust, oh, isn't that sweet, has changes aimed at drawing support from President Joe Biden and Republicans. The reintroduction follows the Social Security Administration's latest estimates that the trust funds that support the program will be depleted in just 13 years. So they've been taking your money all along. They have only 13 years left to show for it. So let's give the same people who created the problem more latitude to fix it by taking more of your money. Here's how it's going to work. House Democrats are reintroducing a Social Security reform bill that's popular with their party. This time it will feature some changes aimed at attracting more support from Republicans. I'm not so sure about that. The bill, known as Social Security 2100 Act, is being brought forward by John Larson of Connecticut, chairman of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Social Security. AOC appeared with Larson on Tuesday to announce the reintroduction of the bill. Oh, now you're in for it now. Neal urged lawmakers to offset the concentration of wealth, which has become more prevalent in the United States. Yes, that is the talking point these days, by embracing this Social Security proposal and extending the expanded child tax credit, because you should be paying for everyone else's kids. We have this rare moment, isn't it always a rare moment? This rare moment to accomplish seismic achievements, and this is the time to do it, he said. The new version of the bill follows the latest estimates that the trust funds will be depleted in just 13 years. At that time, in 2034, only 78% of promised benefits will be payable. So I guess that $1,100 a month I've been promised, 30-some years from now won't be there. So stick with it. We haven't gotten to the punch in the gut yet. They're building up to it. The bill proposes extending that date to 2038, basically kicking the can down the road, to give Congress more time to come up with a long-term solution to the program's solvency issues. Like, I literally remember sitting in our house when I was like 11 years old, and we would get these political letters, because my father was in the media. We'd get these political letters like, Social Security we gotta do something to fix it now. And they would always say, like, don't let the other party kick the can down the road. It's like 25 years later, they're still kicking the can down the road from 2034 to 2038. Bold thinking over there in Congress. They have to give themselves more time to find a long-term solution. The measure would also incorporate proposals made by President Joe Biden during his presidential campaign. We told you last year that's bad news. But don't worry, the punch in the gut is still coming. They haven't gotten to the punch in the gut yet. The new bill combines Biden's proposals with House Ways and Means initiatives to expand and enhance Social Security benefits. Okay, once again, you know you're in for it. Hold on. It's got a lot that's attractive and nothing that I think should cause Democrats problems in an election year, says Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works, an advocacy group that promotes expanding benefits, like Biden's plan, which we told you was terrible. The Social Security 2100 Act would set a higher minimum benefit for low-income workers. There's a benefit boost, blah, 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 adjustment, Then AOC chimes in. She spoke about how Social Security benefits helped her family when her father died unexpectedly of cancer. Sad, but for sure sad, but even sadder that she has to now pimp it out to get people to vote for taking your money. Social Security checks helped my family through, she said. It's why my brother and I were able to go to college, and as a result, we got AOC. And we're just skipping over to the punch in the gut here, to the knife in the heart. The plan also integrates a couple of elements that might help draw up support from the other side of the aisle. The new version will repeal rules that reduce Social Security benefits for public workers and for their spouses, as if, aren't the public workers getting enough benefits? Widows and widowers who also have a pension income Blah, blah, here we go. The elimination of one proposal, a higher payroll tax rate, may also help draw more support. And I see, you think the punch in the gut's not coming. You say, okay, all right, they wanted a higher payroll tax rate. And they said, oh, they're eliminating. Oh, you think, oh, thank goodness. You think the knife to the heart isn't coming. But the Social Security 2100 Act had previously called for a gradually increasing contributions to the program from workers and employers up to 7.4%, up from the current rate of 6.2% over roughly 20 years. Now, let's call a spade a spade. Let's be fair. We hire people all around the world. There's nowhere else in the world where I'm paying 7.4% in Social Security benefits. It's higher. Now, wages may be lower. I think we get a better deal. We avoid a lot of the nonsense in the U.S. system. We avoid having to be in the U.S. tax system as a foreign company. But to be fair, 7.4% on a global level is not that bad. Now, what do you get for that 7.4 versus what people who are working for me are getting in their country? Probably not as much. But okay, fair is fair. They got rid of the part where they're going to raise the payroll tax. Now, we're like 3/4 of the way down the article. Are you waiting? Are you ready for it? Are you buckled in? However, the article continues. The legislation does call for increasing Social Security taxes paid by higher wage earners. Okay. Brace yourself. In 2021, those taxes are capped at $142,800 in wages. And in 2022, that will rise to $147,000. I remember when I started working, it was like in the 80s or 90s, and that's quite a run-up. I guess that's all that transient inflation happening. This proposal reapplies taxes on wages at $400,000 and up. Oh, bowl me over with a feather now. Which is also in line with what Biden has proposed. Oh my. And the article goes on and comes to an abrupt end. They kind of buried that part in there at the very end. Are you shocked? Are you as shocked as I am? You know, after all those parts about, I thought after AOC's stories and going to college and all the blah, blah, blah about how this is going to strengthen and secure, and then you learn it's only kicking the can down the road by force. The last thing you expected was the jab to the gut that says, if you make over $400,000, they're just going to basically reintroduce the whole Social Security scheme again. You know, this is supposed to be a benefits program, isn't it? Like, you're supposed to put money in. The government's supposed to do a terrible job managing it. They're supposed to move some of it from the trust fund to other things occasionally to pay for wars and to pay for spending and because they can't manage their money. They're almost $30 trillion in debt. But, I mean, it's kind of there. And, all right, you're going to get 78 cents on the dollar. I mean, you could have put that money into Bitcoin or stocks or, under the mattress and gotten a better return. But all right, I mean, fine, that's the deal. And, you would think up to $147,000, you're getting a terrible deal. But at least there's an end to it. At least it's there's an illusion that it is you put money in and the government mismanages it and gives it back to you. Now, they're going after Biden's proposal. And by the way, I want to know, who are the Republicans supporting this? But I guess they don't need them potentially if they get this through. And the people say, hey, this won't hurt the Democrats' election chances. Because again, you can always say that tax applies to someone else and people will eat it up. But if you make more than $400,000, if you build a strong business, if you have any kind of income over $400,000, now they're going to basically slap you with that again. Over $400,000, so you've got this little donut in the middle from $147,000 to $400,000. But then above that, you pay and pay and pay and pay and pay and pay and pay. I talk to people who make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, every once in a while $50 million in income. Now, maybe they can divert some of that. Maybe they can pay higher rates later on some of that income by restructuring it and not taking it. But the bottom line is, let's just say you take out $10 million in income. That's not inconceivable in the era of people running businesses online and everything that's going on today. So now from $400,000 to $10 million, you get that $9.6 million. If you're self-employed, they already took the Medicare cap off back in the 90s, I believe. So now you've got this extra 12.4%. Don't worry, they're not going to raise the rate, but they're going to raise the base. 12.4% on your $9.6 million. With $1 million or more. They don't have to raise income tax rates. Okay, so maybe you dodged a bullet on that one recently. they can just take extra money. And for many people who are high earners, it may not be $1 million a year. It could be $1 million over several years or a decade. Imagine you invested that money in something that you wanted. I remember listening to the radio host Dave Ramsey. He was like 60 years old, and he said, you know what? Keep everything I've put in so far. I've been working since I'm 16 years old or something like that. Keep everything for the last 4.5 decades if you just don't make me pay again. Now, he said that before they took the cap off over $400,000. Now, again, he's paying Medicare. He's paying the Medicare, but he's only paying the Social Security on this 147 next year. Imagine what people are going to be saying once they're paying on every dollar over $400,000. And then imagine later when momentum comes back to raise income taxes, when it comes to raise capital gains taxes, you're going to be paying over 50%. In some cases, you may even be paying 60%. For that price, you don't have to settle for 78 cents on the dollar. For that price, you can go to Denmark, you can go to Sweden, you can go anywhere you want. They'll take care of you from birth till death. You don't have to sit in the United States and pay for this and watch your money frittered away by incompetents like AOC and Bernie Sanders. You don't have to stay with CNBC where they just wait till the very end. They nail you right in there. You can go anywhere for this level of taxes. So, hey, great political points. They think people are going to supply. Great political points to say, hey, listen, if you make a lot of money, you should just pay for my welfare program, basically. Social Security can now become even more of the ultimate Ponzi scheme where people can just pay infinitesimal infinite sums of money into the system to be redistributed. Here's my guess, by the way, just if you're taking notes, in case you care. My guess is, by the time 2034, oh my goodness, we need more money. We didn't raise enough money. So that's the latest on your Social Security tax plan. Don't stop now. We've got well over 1,000 more videos here on YouTube for you to watch and learn how to go where you're treated best. And if you want to work with Nomad Capitalist personally, go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply, learn about our unique, tried and true process, garnered over years of experience, and learn how you can become our client.